Welcome to Engineering Made Easy. Today we are going to go through plotting a function in MATLAB. So there's a couple ways to plot functions. We're going to cover two today. So the first step, making my script, is I'm going to make 3 lines like we discussed in the introduction video. Clear all, close all, CLC. Just good practice. Okay, so let's say our goal is to plot y equals sine of x from 0 to 2 pi. Okay, now notice this is how you make a comment in MATLAB. You just do a little % symbol, and that's not going to be read in the code. Okay, so we're trying to plot sine of x from 0 to 2 pi. Now the first way to do this is to define what's called a function handle. So our first step is to define our x range, and we're going to do it the following way. Say x equals 0 to 2 pi. Now what this statement does is it says, okay, make x a range of values from 0 to 2 pi. So we're going to run this and see what happens. Now you'll notice that we got 7 values here, and they're all spaced out in increments of 1. So the default step size using this colon is 1. If we use a second colon and put a different value in here, we can define our step size. So here what we're doing is we're saying, okay, x is going to be a range of values from 0 to 2 pi in step size of 0.01. So let's run that. Now we see that we have 629 values for x and step sizes of 0.01. Great. So if we're using a function handle, we have to do it in the following way. Say y equals at parentheses x space sine of x. Okay, this says y is a function in terms of x. That's what this at x says, where the function itself is sine of x. So this is kind of similar thinking to how we usually think about functions in a math class, right? X is our independent variable, y is our dependent variable here. So we can run that and see what it looks like in our workspace. So y is now a function handle, and this is the value, sine of x. So now if we're going to plot this, we can just do a plot command and do y parentheses x. We'll run that. We've now plotted x, we've plotted y from 0 to 2 pi of sine of x. So that's one full oscillation. Now the other way to do this is to remove this at x here. We can just delete that. And now what y is y is going to be an array of values calculated at each x value. So if we take this out, run this, now y is just an array of the same size as x. And again, we can plot this. Now we're going to plot x comma y. So the difference here is that y is now a set of points instead of a function. But when we plot it, it's going to look the same. Great. So now if we wanted to change something, like maybe we wanted to change the step size, make it a little more coarse, we can come back and do that. Well, it still looks pretty good. Maybe we want to plot 2 cycles, we can change this to 4 pi. That looks pretty good. So 2 different ways to plot a function, using the function handle and using just the function itself to define an array of points. Again, we use this colon to define a range of values where the syntax goes first value, step size, last value, and then we just use the plot command to see what it looks like. So next time we're going to cover plotting techniques more in depth, and if you have any questions, leave them in the comments.